Look down at your feet right now. Go ahead. I'll wait. See those shoes you're wearing? They're telling a story about your blood flow that most men over 60 never realize. If the backs of your heels are worn down unevenly, if you're shuffling more than you used to, or if your feet feel cold even in warm weather, your circulation is sending you a message. I'm talking to you, the man who's been carrying the weight of responsibility for decades. You've worked hard, provided for your family, and now you're wondering why your body isn't keeping up like it used to. Maybe you've noticed you're not as steady on your feet. Maybe your energy dips in the afternoon, or maybe things just don't work like they did when you were 40. Here's what I want you to know. You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. What's happening to your feet and what your shoes are trying to tell you could be the key to understanding why you're feeling less like yourself these days. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share something that changed everything for my friend Frank, a retired firefighter who thought his best days were behind him. We'll talk about 3 simple, natural ways to improve your circulation that don't involve expensive treatments or complicated routines. And I'll show you exactly what to look for in your shoes right now that reveals what's really happening with your blood flow. Before we dive deeper, I'd love to know, which state are you watching from? Type it in the comments below. It amazes me how this senior wisdom travels from coast to coast, connecting men who understand that taking care of ourselves isn't vanity, it's responsibility. Whether you're in Florida, Montana, or anywhere in between, this message is for you. Let me tell you about Frank, 62 years old, retired from the fire department after 30 years of running into burning buildings when everyone else was running out. Frank was tough as nails, but last year, something started bothering him. It wasn't dramatic. Nothing ever is at our age. It started with him noticing he was shuffling his feet more when he walked. His wife mentioned it first, actually. "Honey, you're not picking up your feet like you used to." Then he started feeling cold, especially in his hands and feet, even during their warm Arizona summers. Frank being Frank, he ignored it. "I'm getting older," he told himself. "This is just what happens." But then came the morning he couldn't ignore it anymore. He was putting on his favorite work boots, the same pair he'd worn for weekend projects for 3 years. As he bent down to tie them, he noticed something that stopped him cold. The back of both heels were worn down completely on the outside edges. Not just a little wear. They were ground down at least a 1/4 inch on the right side. That's weird, he thought. He'd never noticed uneven wear like that before. But what really got his attention was when he stood up and realized he'd been unconsciously shuffling and dragging his right foot for months without realizing it. That evening, Frank called me. We'd been friends since high school, and he knew I'd been researching natural health approaches since my own wake-up call 5 years earlier. "Something's not right," he said. "I think my circulation is shot." Frank wasn't wrong. What he was experiencing, the cold hands and feet, the shuffling gait, the uneven shoe wear, these weren't just signs of getting older. They were his body's way of telling him that his circulation was struggling. His heart was working harder to pump blood to his extremities. His blood vessels weren't as flexible as they used to be, and his body was compensating in ways that were literally wearing down his shoes. But here's the thing about Frank, and maybe you'll relate to this. He didn't want to become a patient. He didn't want to spend his retirement going from doctor to doctor, taking medications that might help one thing but cause problems with another. He wanted to feel like himself again, naturally. So we started researching together. Frank was willing to try some simple, natural approaches that had helped other men our age. Nothing extreme, nothing expensive, nothing that would interfere with the medications he was already taking for his blood pressure. 6 months later, Frank called me again, but this time his voice was different. "You've got to hear this," he said. "I bought new boots last month. Yesterday, I looked at my old ones, the ones with all that uneven wear. Then I looked at the new ones. They're wearing evenly. I'm walking normal again. But that wasn't all. Frank's energy was back. He was sleeping better. His hands and feet weren't constantly cold. And, though he was a little embarrassed to mention it, things were working better in the bedroom too, all from focusing on his circulation, using methods that his grandfather might have recognized. Frank's story isn't unique. What happened to him is happening to millions of men over 60. The difference is, Frank decided to pay attention to what his body was telling him, and he took action. Simple, natural action that didn't require him to become a different person or dramatically change his lifestyle. Let's talk about what's really happening inside your body after 60, because understanding the problem is the first step to solving it. Think of your circulatory system like the plumbing in a house that's been lived in for 6 decades. It's done good work, but it's not brand new anymore. Your heart is still strong. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But it's working in a system that's changed over time. Here's what happens. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less flexible. They're like garden hoses that have been left in the sun for years. They still work, but they're not as supple as they once were. This means your heart has to work a little harder to push blood through them, especially to reach your hands and feet. At the same time, many of us are dealing with what doctors call hormonal decline. Your testosterone levels aren't what they were at 30, and this affects more than just your energy and libido. Testosterone actually helps maintain healthy blood vessels and supports good circulation. When those levels drop, and they naturally do after 50, your circulation feels the impact. Add to this the fact that many men our age are dealing with enlarged prostates, which can affect blood flow in the pelvic region, and you start to see why your body might be sending you signals through your feet and your shoes. Here's something most men don't realize. Poor circulation affects everything. It's not just about cold hands and feet. When your circulation is struggling, your brain doesn't get the oxygen-rich blood it needs, so your thinking might feel a little foggy. Your muscles don't get the nutrients they need for energy, so you feel tired more often. And yes, your sexual function is directly tied to healthy blood flow too. Your shoes are telling this story because your body adapts to preserve energy when circulation is poor. If your feet aren't getting good blood flow, they might feel numb or cold, so you unconsciously change how you walk. You might shuffle more to avoid lifting your feet as high. You might favor one side if circulation is worse on that side. Over months and years, this shows up as uneven wear patterns on your shoes. The shuffling isn't just about blood flow either. When circulation is poor, the small muscles in your feet and ankles don't work as efficiently. They're not getting the nutrients and oxygen they need to maintain their strength and coordination. So you adapt, often without realizing it, by walking in a way that requires less precise muscle control. This is why Frank's shoe wear was so telling. His right side had slightly worse circulation than his left, so over time, he unconsciously started dragging that foot just a little bit more. The uneven wear pattern was like a roadmap of how his circulation issues were affecting his daily movement. But here's what I want you to understand. This isn't a disease. This isn't a sign that you're broken or that your best days are behind you. This is your body adapting to changes, and with the right approach, you can support your circulation naturally and help your body work more efficiently again. The medical community has known for decades that circulation issues respond well to natural interventions. We're not talking about miracle cures or magic pills. We're talking about working with your body's natural healing mechanisms, the same mechanisms that have kept you going for 60+ years. Your grandfather's generation understood something we sometimes forget. The body wants to heal itself. It wants to function well. Sometimes it just needs the right support, the right nutrients, and the right kind of gentle encouragement. What's exciting is that circulation is one of the areas where you can often see and feel improvements relatively quickly. Unlike some health issues that take months or years to address, many men notice improvements in their circulation within weeks of making the right changes. Frank's experience isn't unusual. When you support your circulation naturally, you're not just addressing one isolated problem. You're supporting your body's ability to deliver oxygen and nutrients everywhere they need to go. That's why men often report improvements in energy, mental clarity, sleep quality, and yes, sexual function when they focus on circulation. The key is understanding that circulation health is connected to everything else. It's not separate from your energy levels, your mood, your sleep, or your intimate relationships. When you improve circulation, you're giving your whole body a better foundation to work from. So when you look down at your shoes tonight, don't see wear patterns as a sign of defeat. See them as information. Your body is communicating with you, and now you're learning how to listen. Now let's talk about 3 natural approaches that can help improve your circulation. These aren't complicated, expensive, or time-consuming. They're simple strategies that work with your body's natural healing abilities. This first one is something my grandfather actually taught me, though he didn't know the science behind it. Every morning, for just 5 minutes, you're going to elevate your legs above your heart level. Here's why this works. Overnight, fluid and blood can pool in your lower extremities. This is especially common as we get older, because our circulation isn't as efficient as it once was. By elevating your legs for a few minutes each morning, you're helping that pooled blood return to your heart more easily, giving your circulation a gentle boost to start the day. The easiest way to do this is simple. Before you get out of bed in the morning, lie on your back and prop your feet up on the headboard or against the wall. If that's not comfortable, you can do this on the floor next to your bed, using the bed to prop your legs up. The key is getting your feet higher than your heart. While you're lying there, take slow, deep breaths. This isn't just relaxation. Deep breathing actually helps pump blood through your system. Your diaphragm acts like a secondary heart, helping move blood back toward your heart when you breathe deeply. Frank started doing this every morning after our conversation. He said it felt strange at first, but within 2 weeks, he noticed he wasn't shuffling as much when he first got out of bed. "My feet feel more awake," was how he put it. Here's what to avoid. Don't elevate your legs if you have serious heart conditions without talking to your doctor first. And don't strain to get your legs up high. Gentle elevation is all you need. This second approach uses something you already have in your home: hot and cold water. This technique has been used for centuries in various cultures because it naturally stimulates circulation. Here's the science. When you expose your feet and lower legs to warm water, your blood vessels dilate, allowing more blood to flow through. When you switch to cold water, those vessels contract, pushing blood back toward your heart. Alternating between hot and cold creates a pumping action that exercises your blood vessels and improves their flexibility over time. You can do this in your bathtub, or even just using 2 large basins. Fill one with comfortably warm water, not hot enough to burn, just warm enough to feel good. Fill the other with cool water, not ice cold, just cool enough to be refreshing. Start by soaking your feet and lower legs in the warm water for 3 minutes. Then switch to the cool water for 1 minute. Repeat this cycle 3 times, always ending with the cool water. The whole process takes about 12 minutes. Frank did this every evening while watching the news. He said it became a relaxing ritual, and he started looking forward to it. Within a month, he noticed the constant coldness in his feet was gone. "My feet actually feel warm in the mornings now," he told me. What to avoid? Don't use water that's too hot or too cold. The goal is therapeutic, not shocking to your system. If you have diabetes or neuropathy, Be extra careful with water temperature since you might not feel if it's too hot. And if you have any open wounds on your feet, wait until they heal before trying this. Studies have shown that this kind of contrast therapy can improve circulation by up to 25% in older adults when done consistently. The key word is consistently. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a gentle, daily practice that supports your circulation over time. The third solution involves 2 spices that your grandmother probably had in her kitchen: cayenne pepper and ginger. These aren't just flavor enhancers. They're circulation boosters that have been used medicinally for thousands of years. Cayenne contains a compound called capsaicin, which naturally stimulates blood flow and helps blood vessels stay flexible. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols that have similar effects and also help reduce inflammation in blood vessels. Here's how to use them safely and effectively. Start with a small amount of cayenne pepper in your food. If you're not used to spicy food, begin with just a pinch mixed into soup, eggs, or whatever you're eating for breakfast. Gradually increase the amount as your tolerance builds. You're not trying to set your mouth on fire. You just want enough to feel a gentle warming sensation. For ginger, you can use fresh ginger root, ground ginger, or ginger tea. Fresh ginger is the most potent. Try grating a small amount into hot water to make ginger tea, or add it to smoothies if you make those. If you prefer, you can buy ginger capsules from a health food store, but start with a low dose. Frank was skeptical about this one at first. Spices for circulation? Come on, he said, but he was willing to try anything. He started adding a small amount of cayenne to his morning eggs and drinking ginger tea in the afternoon. Within 3 weeks, he noticed his hands weren't getting as cold when he worked in his garage, even during cooler Arizona evenings. The science backs this up. Research shows that regular consumption of cayenne can improve circulation by helping blood vessels dilate more effectively. Ginger has been shown to improve blood flow and reduce inflammation in blood vessels, which is especially important as we age. What to avoid? Don't go overboard with either spice. Too much cayenne can irritate your stomach, especially if you're not used to spicy food. Too much ginger can interfere with blood-thinning medications, so if you take warfarin or similar medications, check with your doctor first. Start small and increase gradually. Also, buy quality spices. The pre-ground stuff that's been sitting on grocery store shelves for months won't be as effective as fresh spices from a reputable source. These 3 approaches work because they address circulation from different angles. The elevation helps your body move blood more efficiently. The contrast, water therapy, exercises your blood vessels. The spices provide nutrients that support healthy blood flow from the inside. Frank combined all 3 approaches, but you don't have to start with everything at once. Pick one that feels most doable for you and stick with it for a few weeks. Once it becomes a habit, add another one. The goal is sustainable improvement, not overwhelming yourself with too many changes at once. Remember, these are natural approaches that work with your body's existing systems. They're not competing with any medications you might be taking. They're supporting your body's natural ability to maintain healthy circulation. Now let me share some additional insights that can make a real difference in your circulation, plus some common mistakes I see men our age making that actually work against good blood flow. Here's something simple you can do right now to assess your circulation. Take off your socks. Go ahead, I'll wait. Look at your feet and lower legs. Do you see deep indentations where your socks were? Press your finger against your shin bone for about 10 seconds, then release. Does it leave a dent that takes more than a few seconds to fill back in? If so, you're dealing with some fluid retention, which often goes hand in hand with circulation issues. This isn't necessarily dangerous, but it's your body telling you that your circulation could use some support. My friend Robert, who's 68 and lives in Texas, discovered this by accident. He was getting ready for bed one night and noticed his socks had left deep grooves in his legs. "I looked like I was wearing invisible socks," he laughed. But when he started paying attention, he realized this was happening every day. Robert began doing the morning elevation ritual I mentioned earlier, and within 2 weeks, the sock marks were barely noticeable. "It's like my legs can breathe again," he said. The lesson here is that your body gives you information all the time. Most of us just don't know how to read the signs. Deep sock marks, indentations that don't bounce back quickly. These are your circulatory system asking for support. Here's something that might surprise you. The temperature in your bedroom could be affecting your circulation while you sleep. Many men over 60 sleep in rooms that are too warm, thinking it will help with circulation. Actually, the opposite is true. When your bedroom is too warm, your body has to work harder to regulate temperature, which can actually impair circulation. The ideal temperature for both sleep quality and circulation is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I learned this from my neighbor Joe, who's 71 and a retired engineer. Joe was having trouble with cold feet at night, so he kept turning up the heat in the bedroom. His wife was miserable, and his feet were still cold. When he finally tried lowering the temperature and using an extra blanket instead, his circulation actually improved. "Engineers," he said, "we think we can solve everything by adjusting the thermostat." The science makes sense. When your bedroom is cooler, your body doesn't have to work as hard to regulate temperature, so more energy is available for other functions, including circulation. Plus, better sleep quality supports overall cardiovascular health. Most men our age focus on how much they walk, but I want you to think about how you walk. Remember Frank's uneven shoe wear. That's often caused by subtle changes in walking patterns that develop over time. Here's a simple exercise to reset your walking pattern. Once a day, practice walking heel to toe in a straight line for about 20 steps. This might feel silly, but it's actually helping retrain your nervous system and improving circulation to your feet and lower legs. The key is deliberate movement. Place your heel down first, roll through to your toes, then lift your foot completely before placing the next step. This full range of motion helps pump blood through the muscles in your feet and calves. Here's a mistake I see constantly. Men buying compression socks or compression garments thinking tighter is better for circulation. This isn't always true, and it can actually backfire. Compression gear can be helpful, but only if it's the right compression level and you're using it correctly. Most men buy compression socks that are too tight, thinking they need maximum compression for maximum benefit. What actually happens is they end up restricting circulation rather than supporting it. If you want to try compression socks, start with mild compression, 8 to 15 millimeters of mercury, and see how your body responds. You should feel gentle support, not tightness or restriction. And never sleep in compression socks unless your doctor specifically recommends it. This is probably the biggest mistake I see. Men trying to overhaul their entire lifestyle all at once. They hear about circulation issues and immediately want to start exercising 2 hours a day, completely change their diet, and take a dozen supplements. This approach almost always fails because it's not sustainable. Remember, we're playing the long game here. Small, consistent improvements over time beat dramatic changes that you can't maintain. Frank's success came from adding one small change at a time. First, the morning elevation. 2 weeks later, the contrast water therapy. A month after that, the spices. Each change became a habit before he added the next one. Many men our age sleep in positions that actually impair circulation without realizing it. Sleeping on your stomach with your feet pointed down can restrict blood flow to your feet overnight. Sleeping on your side with your arms under your pillow can impair circulation to your hands and arms. The best position for circulation is on your back with a pillow under your knees to maintain the natural curve of your spine. If you're a side sleeper, try putting a pillow between your knees and avoid sleeping on your arm. I know changing sleep positions isn't easy. Trust me, I was a stomach sleeper for 40 years. But making this adjustment can improve both your sleep quality and your circulation. These bonus tips and mistakes might seem small, but they add up. Frank always says that getting his circulation back wasn't about finding one magic solution. It was about paying attention to all the little things his body was telling him and making small adjustments that supported his natural healing. The key is consistency and patience. Your circulation didn't change overnight, and it won't improve overnight either. But with the right approach, you can start feeling improvements within weeks. Before we wrap up, I want to make sure you have everything you need to take action on what we've discussed today. Because knowing this information is only valuable if you actually use it. First, I'd love to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway from today's conversation? Was it learning about the morning elevation ritual, the connection between your shoes and circulation? Or maybe one of those bonus tips resonated with you? Drop a comment below and share your biggest insight. You might inspire another man to make a change that improves his quality of life. I read every comment, and I often respond with additional tips based on what you're experiencing. And here's something I've noticed. When men our age share their experiences in the comments, it creates a community of support that goes far beyond what any single video can provide. Your comment might be exactly what another 60-year-old needs to hear to take that first step toward better circulation. If you've already tried any of these approaches, I especially want to hear about your experience. Did you notice improvements in your energy, your sleep, how you feel overall? Your success story could encourage someone else to give it a try. Now, if you want to take this further, I've put together something that might help. It's a free resource I call the 7-Day Circulation Recovery Plan for Men Over 60. This isn't some complicated program that requires you to change your entire life. It's a simple, day-by-day guide that walks you through implementing these circulation-supporting strategies in a way that fits into your regular routine. Day 1 focuses on the morning elevation ritual and shows you exactly how to set it up for success. Day 2 introduces the contrast, water therapy with specific instructions for your situation. Day 3 covers the spice protocol, including shopping lists and simple recipes. The remaining days cover additional strategies, common troubleshooting issues, and how to track your progress. What I like about this plan is that it's designed specifically for men our age. It takes into account that you might have other health conditions, that you might be taking medications, and that you want real-world solutions that don't require you to become a different person. The link to download this free plan is in the description below. Just click it, enter your email address, and I'll send it to you immediately. No spam, no constant sales pitches, just the information you need to support your circulation naturally. I created this because I kept getting comments and emails from men asking for more specific guidance. They'd watch the videos, want to take action, but weren't sure exactly how to start or how to troubleshoot issues that came up. This plan answers those questions. Speaking of taking action, in our next video, I'm going to share something that might surprise you. We're going to talk about a common bedtime habit that's quietly sabotaging circulation and energy levels for millions of men over 60. This habit seems innocent. In fact, many men think it's actually good for them. But it's working against everything we've discussed today. I'll show you exactly what this habit is, why it's so harmful to circulation, and what to do instead. Frank actually discovered this by accident, and changing this one bedtime routine made as much difference as all the other strategies combined. The video is called "The Bedtime Habit That's Ruining Your Circulation after 60, stop this tonight. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss it. This is information that could change how you feel every morning for the rest of your life. Here's something else I want you to consider. If this video helped you, it can probably help other men in your life too. Maybe you have a brother, a friend from work, or guys you play golf with who might benefit from understanding the connection between circulation and overall health. Sharing health information isn't always easy between men our age, I get it. We weren't raised to talk about these things openly. But sometimes the most caring thing you can do for a friend is send them a video that might help them feel better and live better. You don't have to make a big deal about it. Just send the link with a message like, "Thought you might find this interesting," or "This guy makes some good points about staying healthy as we get older." Let the information speak for itself. Remember, we're all in this together. Getting older doesn't have to mean feeling older, and taking care of our health doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Sometimes, it's as simple as paying attention to what our shoes are telling us and giving our bodies the support they need to do what they do best: heal and maintain themselves. The tools and information are here. The choice is yours. You can keep ignoring the signals your body is sending, or you can start supporting your circulation naturally and see how much better you can feel. Based on what I've seen with Frank and dozens of other men, I think you'll be surprised by how much of a difference these simple changes can make. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to know something important. You're not alone in this journey. Every man watching this video has felt that moment of realization that his body isn't quite the same as it was 20 or 30 years ago. That moment when you look down at your shoes and see wear patterns you never noticed before, or when you realize you're not walking with the same confidence you once had. But here's what I've learned in my own journey, and from talking with men like Frank. Recognizing these changes isn't a defeat. It's the beginning of a new chapter where you get to take an active role in how you feel and how you age. Frank put it best when he called me 6 months after making these changes. I spent so much time thinking about what I used to be able to do that I forgot I could still influence what I can do now. That wisdom didn't come from a medical textbook or a research study. It came from a man who decided to listen to his body and work with it instead of against it. Your circulation, your energy, your overall vitality, these aren't things that just happen to you. They're things you can influence, not control completely, but influence significantly. The strategies we talked about today aren't magic, and they're not guaranteed to solve every problem, but they're based on understanding how your body works and giving it the support it needs to function at its best. I think about my grandfather often when I share this information. He lived to be 92, and he was chopping wood and tending his garden into his 80s. He didn't know the science behind what he was doing, but he understood something fundamental. The body wants to heal itself, and sometimes it just needs a little help and encouragement. That morning elevation ritual? My grandfather did something similar every day, though he called it letting the blood settle. The contrast water therapy? He'd soak his feet in warm water every evening, then step outside in his bare feet for a few minutes, even in winter. "Wakes everything up," he'd say. He was right, though he couldn't have explained the physiology behind it. What he understood intuitively is what research now confirms. Simple, consistent practices that support circulation can have profound effects on how we feel and function as we age. Your shoes are still telling that story about your circulation, but now you know how to read what they're saying. More importantly, you know you can influence that story. You can choose to support your circulation naturally, to pay attention to what your body needs, and to age with vitality instead of just aging. This isn't about turning back the clock or trying to be 30 again. This is about being the best version of yourself at the age you are right now. It's about having the energy to enjoy retirement, to be present with your family, to wake up feeling good instead of stiff and tired. Remember what Frank discovered. You're not broken, and you're not done yet. Your body has carried you through decades of life, work, stress, and challenges. It deserves your attention, your care, and your respect. These simple circulation supporting strategies are one way to give your body that support. Take your time implementing these changes. Start with what feels most manageable and build from there. Pay attention to how you feel, not just how you look. Notice improvements in your energy, your sleep, your mood, your confidence. These are the real measures of success. And remember, this is a journey, not a destination. There will be good days and challenging days. That's normal. The key is consistency, patience, and kindness toward yourself. You've earned the right to feel good, and you have more control over that than you might think. Until next time, take care of yourself. You're worth it, and the people who love you are counting on you to stick around and feel good for a long time to come. Pay attention to those shoes. Listen to what your body is telling you, and remember, your best days don't have to be behind you. They can be right now and tomorrow and for many years to come.